Hello. Welcome to our YouTube channel. If you are new here, please subscribe. In this episode of our series of bar exam analysis on corporation law, we will be discussing the 1994 question that reads, Raphael inherited from his uncle 10,000 shares of Santa Ana Corporation, a close corporation. The shares have a par value of 10 pesos per share. Raphael notified Santa Ana that he was selling his shares at 70 pesos per share. There being no takers among the stockholders, Raphael sold the same to his cousin Vicente, who is not a stockholder, for 700,000 pesos. The corporate secretary refused to transfer the shares in Vicente's name in the corporate books because Alberto, one of the stockholders, opposed the transfer on the ground that the same violated the bylaws. Alberto offered to buy the shares at 12.50 per share, as fixed by the bylaws, or a total price of 125,000 pesos only. While the bylaws of Santa Ana provides that the right of first refusal can be exercised at a price not exceeding 25% more than the par value of such shares, the Articles of Incorporation simply provides that the stockholders of record shall have preferential right to purchase said shares. It is silent as to pricing. Is Raphael bound by the pricing proviso under the bylaws of Santa Ana Corporation? Notice that this is a question answerable by yes or no, hence it is important that our answer should begin either with a yes or no. Take note also that the question pertains to Raphael, the seller of the shares, and not Vicente, the buyer of the shares. There are three relevant facts in the problem. 1. The shares were inherited by Raphael. 2. The corporation was a close corporation, and 3. There was pricing restriction on transfer of share in the bylaws, but none in the Articles of Incorporation. The facts would lead us to the recognition that the corporation, being a close corporation, may validly restrict transfer of shares. The rule is found in Section 97 of the Revised Corporation Code that provides, quote, close corporations may restrict the transfer of shares. In order to bind purchaser in good faith, however, the restrictions on the right to transfer shares must appear in the Articles of Incorporation, in the bylaws, as well as in the certificate of stock. Said restrictions shall not be more onerous than granting the existing stockholders or the corporation the option to purchase the shares of the transferring stockholder with such reasonable terms, conditions, or period stated. End of quote. To help us answer the question, we need to recognize the controversy, or the issue, if you may. There was a conflict in the pricing proviso in the bylaws and Articles of Incorporation. The problem says, quote, while the bylaws of Santa Ana provides that the right of first refusal can be exercised at a price not exceeding 25% more than the par value of such shares, the Articles of Incorporation simply provides that the stockholders of record shall have preferential right to purchase said shares. It is silent as to pricing. End of quote. Is Raphael a third person? This is relevant since we have learned that bylaws cannot affect the rights or prejudice of third persons. PMI Colleges vs. NLRC. He is not, as he inherited the shares from someone who was bound by the bylaws. Nemo plus luris ad alum transfer potest quam ips habet. No one can transfer a greater right than he himself has. The question really is whether the pricing proviso may be considered reasonable. Remember the rule. Said restrictions shall not be more onerous than granting the existing stockholders or the corporation the option to purchase the shares of the transferring stockholder with such reasonable terms, conditions, or period stated. The pricing restriction in the problem states that the shares should be sold at a price not exceeding 25% more than the par value of such shares. Is this reasonable or not? In the absence of a definite ruling on this question, The ability to argue if such restriction is reasonable or not is therefore the key. All things considered, the author suggests this answer. No, Raphael is not bound by the pricing proviso since it is considered unreasonable as it violates the property rights of shareholders in restraint of trade. He should be allowed to sell his shares according to its market value. The law provides that restrictions on transfer of shares shall not be more onerous than granting the existing shareholder the option to purchase the shares under reasonable terms. It is submitted that setting the price at no more than 25% of the par value is unreasonable. Besides, considering that it was shown in the problem that Raphael notified the corporation of his intention to sell the shares and there were no takers, the sale to Vicente should have been registered. We hope you learned something useful in this video. Thank you. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel and like our Facebook page ECS Notes. You may also comment and share this video to your friends. Have a pleasant day.